Kaczynski back to third. Lauren Lincoln is in the fourth and final transfer spot. Jeff Isabel Jr. drives it in deep, rubs Nerf bars with Greg Doust, but Doust is going to hold on to the fifth spot.
Dan Kaczynski was scheduled to write the press release for this Mr. Dirt Car Sportsman event, but right now he wouldn't be able to write it inside the driver's compartment, as he is right now running in the second and third spot. Both of them would put him in the feature event. We're halfway home.
Danny Kaye wrestles the second spot away from Spike Smith, and he will hold on to that.
And Kaczynski and Spike Smith, they're still even coming off the corner. Danny Kaye's going to hold on to the spot. 4 more laps left to go. And the battle for the 2 cars here in B-Main number 2, off in corner number 1 and 2. And Lauren Lincoln has it, but here comes Greg Doust. Greg, he gets a great run down the backstretch.
Doust looks down to the inside in the orange number 2. Lauren Lincoln in the yellow 2L up on the top side, and Doust gets the run. Now Doust has to qualify in the top 4. He's not a guaranteed starter. Lauren Lincoln is. So as of right now, Greg Doust just put himself in the feature event. Lauren Lincoln would be in as the 30th place starter anyhow. 2 laps left to go.
Greg, you know, by the way, running back at 6th right now is Nick Kupalo in the 99C, the Ashwegan Speedway track champion, and a driver that did a nice job last night. Meanwhile, Doust able to hang on to 4th, but barely. And, oh, by the way, we got the white flag showing to Handsome Todd.
Yeah, Doust just missed the line going into turn number 1 that time, drove right up over the cushion, and was luckily able to reel it back in. White flag is out this time by Todd Henderson, a half a track ahead in the 18H, cruises to the victory. He'll take the win. The battle is going to be for positions 2 on back. The 87 of Danny Kaczynski has got it. Spike Smith trying to close in, not able to do anything. Kaczynski will take it over Smith in third, fourth, and final qualifier, the 2D of Greg Doust. So Lauren Lincoln becomes your 30th place starter by virtue of a guaranteed spot. That makes it nice and clean and easy. 4 cars from each Consi, and then the 2P and
Rooting dominant out of Scotia, New York. And the number 19, it's Joe Williams, current series point leader. And his inside, driving car number 58, it's going to be Jim LaRock out of Seneca Falls.
And we move to the front row, going away on the outside, and the Swartout Recycling number 14 out of Beaver Dams. That is Brian Swartout. And to his inside of the Rochester Gypsum and Acoustical number 4 out of Potter, it's Hollywood Darrell Hilkert. That's your starting lineup. 30 cars set to go, 55 laps, $5,000 on the line. We are full bore off turn 4 for the Sportsman Super Nerd Series.
And speaking of turn 4, car 4 trying to take the race lead away. Hilkert drives up. Brian Swartout takes the early race advantage. Side by side for third, working down the backstretch.
Swartout out to the early advantage. Jimmy LaRock down to the inside on Joe Williams. They'll battle for the third spot side by side behind the 4 of Darrell Hilkert. Caution lights are on. We got trouble over in turn number 3. Luke Carlton is involved. Another machine around backwards. Can't quite get the visual. I believe there's one more involved. It might be Todd Henderson in the 18H.
And it could be because both cars were from the back of the pack. Or all 3 cars are from the back of the pack.
Yeah, we can see Luke Spike Smith, the other car involved, over there, along with the 97C of Luke Carlton, made the tow down from Port Colborne, Ontario. And Todd Henderson has made his impressions from some of these drivers as to what their expectations are for the event. And it looks like Rich is going to try and get a word with Brian Swartout, current leader, after 1 lap. And Greg Hickson in the 1S may have some problems.
Well, Greg, we'll see if we can catch up with Brian Swartout. Brian, big pain race, 5,000 to win. You find yourself out in front. 54 more laps left to go. What are you going to have to do?
Just be patient, I guess, and not use the tires up.
But you got to feel good about your chances. I mean, you don't run a lot of Sportsman races, but still you're finding yourself out in front. And when you run the Sportsman, it hasn't done all that great, so this has got to be a relief for you.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about where I'm sitting right now.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Brian Swartout nearly won his 3rd straight championship with the modifieds this year, running for $5,000 to win. Take it back here to Darrell Hilkert. Darrell, last night you ended on a good note. Today, you're looking good again.
Yeah, the track's real slick out here. Definitely going to be the driver tonight.
54 laps left to get it done. You only have to pick up 1 more spot.
Yeah, be nice to do. Hope for the best.
All right, well, that's Hollywood Hilkert. And guess what? We're done. I'm getting out of the way.
Probably not a bad idea, Rich, but good to get a word from a couple of those runners. From Greg Hickson, they will rejoin at the rear of the field in spots 27 and 28. And there you see the damage on the front of Luke Carlton's 97C. Tough break. It'll be a long tow back to Port Colborne, Ontario. Spike Smith with some things torn up on the front of the Halloween-styled Smith 1. But just some bolt-on stuff. He should be back in action for next season, by the looks that up, and a whole different driving style. So that's really tough to do all on the same night. But now when he can run this Sportsman car and focus on that, obviously he's got a strong piece. Green lights are back on. We're underway. 54 laps remain. Let's see how many of these we can click off all in one time.
Well, it's going to be interesting because these guys are used to 20, 25 lap events, and Junior Green just got into Greg Doust. Doust backed up Lincoln and Hilfiger. We're going to be okay. Sean Donath is moving up back in the pack, but out in front, side by side for the race lead. Greg, here comes Joe Williams.
Joe Williams, I've never been here before. I'm not expecting much.
Yeah.
And then goes out and wins. He basically said the same thing last night here at the Black Rock Speedway. I'd never even seen the place, but he's taken to it very quickly and is already up to position number 2, chasing Swart out for the top spot. Jimmy LaRock is third in the red 58L, and the black and red 58 of Scott Schrader works the top side of the speedway. They're battling for the 4th position.
I mean, we're 3 wide all the way back to the pack as Justin Hallett just got into the 78H of Grant Hilfiger, so Jason Hallett, sorry about that. But what can Williams do with Brian Swart out? As many of the cars still on the racetrack, nose to tail, side by side, including for third, LaRock. As you mentioned, look to the inside, but here comes the other 58, Scott Schrader in the top 5.
Chris Higgins also making his presence known, takes a peek down to the inside on Schrader, looking for a spot within the top 5. Greg Penante is right with him. Chris Heil has found that line that he loves right against the inside retaining wall. Tyler McPherson is on the move, though. He's cracked the top 10 in the 777 and works around the top side.
Started back in spot number 9, so made it back early on, but has been able to click it off pretty well. Meanwhile, we've got LaRock. He is up to third, and here comes Higgins, Chris Higgins, doing the job. So still a lot of racing left to be done. Still side by side for position number 5. Higgins takes it away from Scott Schrader, and here comes Penante in the 99P.
Yeah, that group of bottom feeders, I think you'll see them as the race goes on. They'll shine more and more because they're not abusing their tires. Chip Ortez off the pace. The Pizza Log 0X is headed to the pit area, just 8 laps into this one, and Ortez is out of the event.
Here we go for a second, Greg. That top side really starting to slick off, and on the bottom, LaRock is getting a very good fight off the corner, and he's going to battle with the number 19 for spot number 2.
LaRock working that inside line. He's having trouble holding the bottom side of the speedway all the way around the corner. The car still wants to wash up on him coming off the turn. He got a great run that time off turn number 2, pulls alongside Williams for the 2nd spot. He'll take it away through turns 3 and 4. Chris Higgins is on the move as well, running down these leaders, and he's also using that bottom line.
Yeah, doing a nice job. 10 home, 45 left to go. LaRock looks to have Williams cleared off the corner, and he's got him.
Another battle, Darrell Hilkert, Scott Schrader, Greg Penante, all mixing it up back there from 5th place on back. But Brian Swartout still having things all his way, but he is running that top side, and we heard him with just 1 lap in the books. You got to take it easy, not use up the tires. He's driving that car pretty hard up on the top of the speedway. We'll see if that plays into his strategy or if he does indeed burn the tires off the 14 before the end of this.
Greg, think of the top side of Syracuse. You can go up there, and you can be effective, but you expect to use your tires up. And yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Meanwhile, Chris Higgins is up to 3rd. He's doing a great job, and quietly moving his way through the pack, even though he's stuck in about 15, is Todd Henderson. He's not out of this one yet.
Now Henderson has been mixing it up back there. Greg Doust has made forward progress in the 2D as he works up through. Larry White is another one I'm keeping my eyes on.
Yeah.
He is moving forward as well. But that groove down on the bottom side of the speedway, I think, is going to start to get very crowded. The more cars that big passes down there, the more guys that say, well, I got to be on the bottom, and it'll move down to the inside of the racetrack.
Here we go with lap cars. John Jewell on the bottom, Brian Swartout. The good thing for him is, since so many guys have gone down to the bottom, when Brian Swartout goes upstairs, it's not really an issue for him. Chris Heil hit the inside wall. Chip Ortez is back out. trying to get up to speed. He now does it. And again, Greg, you know, he's about 5-6 laps down, but he's in a points race. Battle on for spot number 4, and Joe Williams continues to fade back. And Higgins has caught LaRock for second.
And they work around the John Jewell lap machine, and now Higgins can concentrate on trying to pass the LaRock 58. He moves it topside with the Line X 19H, but still unable to get the run. Closes in within a car length. And Chris Heil gets into the back of John Jewell, sends him to the infield, although maybe John Jewell was headed there anyway.
Yeah, possible.
May have checked up. Chris Heil nowhere to go.
Goes the lap down early on.
Yeah, John Jewell, it looks like, has just pulled it in and parked it. And we got a battle for the second spot. Once again, Higgins now down to the inside. LaRock on the top of the speedway. They'll go side by side for position number 2 as Joe Williams and Chris Heil race side by side for 4th.
Still just great racing all the way throughout this pack. And still for spot number 4, Chris Heil, second in points, gets around first in points, the 19 of Joe Williams. Only 3 car lengths separate the top 2. Greg, here comes Chris Higgins. That car is hooked up right now.
Todd Henderson caught the cushion on the outside of turns 1 and 2 and almost turned it into the outside retaining wall.
For the lead.
Gathered it back up. Yeah, the leader's in lap traffic. Danny Kapazinski's going to be the meat in the sandwich as the leaders split him into turn number 3.
You can write a press release about this.
Wow, and Higgins is going to make it work down on the inside. But Swartout still has the lead, but he's got problems. Something bent on the right rear corner of the 14 of Swartout.
And that may be all she wrote, but they're going to stay even. And actually, Swartout has the advantage working into turn number 3 and 4.
35 laps remain, and Danny Kapazinski was off the pace for a moment, trying to get things started back up. And boy, it looks like maybe a clump of mud in the right rear wheel for the 14 of Swartout. That car vibrating violently as he heads down into the corner. That can't hold together for 35 more laps.
So Chris Higgins is the race leader. Greg, we can take you through the field right now. Second is Brian Swartout starting to fade back. Jim LaRock runs in third. Fourth is Chris Heil. Running in fifth, Greg Panunti. And sixth is Joe Williams.
Panunti making his presence known. Seventh is another number 99. That is Larry White. He works down to the inside. Eighth is Tyler McPherson. Darrell Hilkert back to ninth. And rounding out the top 10 is that battle between Rob Pratt and Scott Schrader.
And they continue to go to work over there with them 10th and 11th. 12th is Sean Donis. Battling for 13th, Mark Delario, Mike Entwistle.
15th is going to be Donnie Spadarico. 16th is Justin Wright, though that may change hands.
And here's the caution.
Lights are on, and
the leader is involved.
Almost. Chris Higgins. Side of row number 2 is not on the lead lap. The rest of the machines in about the top 18, 20 spots are all on the lead lap. Green lights are back on. We're underway. And Higgins jumps right to the outside, takes the lead away, and Junior Green gets over the cushion, comes back across, catches Tyler McPherson. That's going to spin Scott Schrader.
And coming off the corner, the caution flag will fly on lap number 25.
It's him around. That's going to collect Delario and Todd Henderson once again.
Oh, man.
Jason Hallett might be the other car sitting in turn number 4.
Yeah, that is possible.
We'll see what Higgins can do on the inside of the speedway. Again, I'm keeping my eyes on that right rear tire on the 14 machine.
Will be interesting as we come off of corner number 4. Green flag is out, underway, and Higgins a very strong start, which we've seen him do basically over the last 8 days.
Yeah, Higgins very good on the restarts, but here comes Swartout back around the outside with the momentum on the top of the speedway as Chris Heil takes away the third spot from Jimmy LaRock, and here comes Greg Panunti up the inside for the 4th position, and Swartout's got the lead back. Shocking, but he is out in front, and Panunti and LaRock will battle side by side for position number 4. Larry White is up to 6th as he moves past Joe Williams, puts Williams back to the 7th spot.
But here comes Higgins to the inside. Here comes Chris Heil, and LaRock leans on him. Like you talked about, Greg, the 99s are getting the job done. Panunti hits the fun button. He's up into 4th.
Tell you what, I'm still not counting out the 21 of Sean Donnan.
No.
This race continues on. He's still got plenty of time to work his way through. Mike Entwistle's having a pretty strong run as well in that M93 machine.
And Greg, that right rear, and halfway home, you know, Swartout's got the lead, but you're right about that right rear wheel on the 14, because that thing is shaking violently coming off the corner.
Mike Entwistle gets underneath the 21 machine of Donath to take away that spot.
Yep.
He's up to position number 8 now, so good run for Mike Entwistle. Not been a tour regular in 2007, but has been a regular here at the Black Rock Speedway, although we missed him last night.
And still for the lead. Wow. I don't know who to give that one to.
Boy, I don't know. Swartout and Higgins still side by side. Chris Heil, though, he is the quickest car, I believe, at this point in the race. He's closed right in on these leaders, just looking for an opportunity to make a move on either Swartout, Higgins, or both. And he works that inside line.
Well, I'm not sure whether you want to be top or bottom right now, because they are dead even. Meanwhile, Panunzi still trying to get back into fourth, and Rocket got it back from him. And, well, Heil is going to hope that the bottom is there, because he'll move into second if that's the case. Swartout led lap number 32 at the line, 23 left to go. Moving through this event with efficiency.
Oh, Mark Delario got out of shape in turns 1 and 2. We're going to go 3 wide with Delario, Spadarico, and the 777 of McPherson as the Niagara Frontier runners will go 3 wide. They're still 3 wide. It's been nearly a lap. And now finally they squeeze McPherson back as the 5 of Spadarico is going to take that spot away. But boy, that was a nail biter for a lap and a half.
Almost 3 wide for the lead. Chris Heil thought better of it. Got back in line, and you still see Swartout hanging on that lead. And Greg, he's got fender damage from the tire vibration.
Yeah, at some point, something's got to give with that kind of a vibration, and it's either going to cut the tire down from bouncing it against the sheet metal, or something is going to crack and break in the right rear corner of that 14 machine. But right now, it's holding together. 20 more laps to go.
And Higgins took the lead of the line, and now is out to a significant advantage into corner 3 and 4. Swartout pitches it in there. Now he's got to drive it a little bit harder. Is that going to do something to the rim? Well, it'll drop it back to second. We know that much. And now Chris Heil might have the room to slide up into second. And here comes the rest of the pack.
Yeah, these cars like Larry White, Joe Williams, and Sean Donath have closed in on this lead pack. Greg Panunti and Jimmy LaRocque also closing the gap. So we've got 7 cars that are all going to be battling it out as they catch lap traffic. But we've got Grant Hilfiger off the pace, the 78 on the back straightaway. Can he make the turn to the pit area on the back stretch? No, he's going to keep it slow on the top side of the speedway. Sean Donath, way to look ahead for the 21 machine, is able to get on the binders and move it down. Hilfiger is still slow on the speedway, trying to make his way to the bottom of the racetrack, but nobody's going to let him through. They keep running by on the inside.
And Greggy's just trying to bring out the caution. And,
well, the right rear suspension is broken away on the 78 machine, just trying to clear the speedway. He will do that now in turns 1 and 2. So we're able to continue on, but a couple of tense moments there getting around the Hilfiger machine as he was slow on the speedway.
And meanwhile, Heil gets around the lap car of Hallett.
Oh, and Swartout got into the back of him. That's going to cost him another spot as here comes the 99P of Greg Panunti down to the inside. He'll take away the 3rd spot. Put Swartout back to 4th with Larry White in 5. Jimmy LaRocque is back to 6th. They all move past the lap machine.
And how about Larry White? The youngster now.
Hallett was in trouble. Oh, and we got Joe Williams into the Hallett number 11 after contact with the 21 of Sean Donath. Caution lights are on. Yellow on the somebody, and
no wins. 15 top 5s, no wins. If he won his first race as a 5,000 win event, wow. Off of turn number 4, green flag is out, we're underway.
And Chris Heil is going to take a peek to the outside, ventures off the bottom of the racetrack into turn number 1. Chris Heil up on the top of the speedway. 14 laps remain in this one. And Heil again looks to the outside through turns 3 and 4, pitches it sideways. Not able to do anything with Higgins that time, but we'll give him the E for effort.
And he's got 13 more laps left to get it done. Meanwhile, Sean Donath is going to make the top side work. If it doesn't, he's going to go backward. He's battling side by side with Jimmy LaRocque for spot number 5. And here comes Darrell Hilkert. He faded early on, but he's starting to make his way back forward.
Oh, boy.
Goes too high. That's
he just got it in, just missed the mark going into turn number 3. But he is strong on the outside of the speedway. And another car that's good out there is Donnie Spadarico. As he moves to the outside of the speedway, he'll pull alongside Hilkert and LaRocque We're 3 wide for the 5th spot down into turn number 3.
And Higgins is starting to click them off, looking for a second tour win of the year. A 2-track champion, 1 track championships at 2 different speedways this year. Comes from Syracuse, New York, and has been doing a nice job. But it's the other Syracuse, New York driver out there doing the job. Chris Heil closing in.
Greg Penunti, one of the Canadian contingent, still right there in position number 3. Larry White having the run of his career in 4th.
And Heil sparks flew. He almost had Higgins set up for the pass.
Just not quite enough room as he meets the inside retaining wall with the left front wheel. Able to continue on. Hopefully he doesn't cut down the left front tire here in the closing 9 laps.
So we stay under green. 9 more laps left to go, as you mentioned. Just over 3.5 miles remaining in this event. The top 4 broken away. Donnie Spadarico up into spot number 5. Greg, he started back in 20th. He could be the Sherwood Racing Wheels hard charger.
Yeah, he's cracked the top 5 now and has that spot comfortably ahead of the 58L of Jimmy LaRock. Chris Higgins still out in front. 7 laps remain this time by. Chris Heil is reeling him back in. I think he might have backed off, cooled off the tires just a bit, and is now ready to make another charge. Sean Doneth could have a problem on the 21 machine. Looks like a broken right rear radius rod as the rear tire is shifted back on the 21 machine. We'll keep our eyes on that, and he's having a top 10 run.
And I'm telling you what, Greg, we've only had 4 cautions in this event. Kind of surprising, you know. We go green flag a lot here at the Speedway, but a lot of times Sportsman, you know, it's got to be so fast, so cutthroat. This 55-lap event, you know, very relaxed, except for the battle for the lead. Here goes Heil up to the top side. There's a nice soft cushion up there, and if you catch it right, you're in good shape. Here comes Heil.
Yeah, Heil's looking to set up a run off the corner. In the final 5 laps, Heil dives into turn 3, charges alongside of Chris Higgins, trying to fluster the driver of the 1980, Chris Heil, to the outside into turn number 1. Takes the top spot at the line, but Higgins drives right back by him off of turn number 2. And Heil is going to have to settle for second. They're closing in on the lap machine of Justin Hallett. And Heil trying to block Higgins in behind the lap car.
And Higgins will take the lead back for the moment. Boy, he caught that lap car at the absolute perfect time. Higgins goes back to the inside. Heil's going to try to clear Hallett. He'll be able to do it in the 2 Chris's from Syracuse. Right go in at turn number 3 and 4.
And again, Heil drives it in deep into turn number 3. Backs it up into the cushion, in the middle of the corner. Tries for the charge. Parallel sticks in the air for Higgins. 2 laps to go. Heil on the outside once again into turn number 1. Trying to set up the crossover on the back straightaway.
And he had set it up, but Higgins was downstairs. They're dead even. Side by side in a corner 3 and 4. Heil has the advantage in 3, but gets it a little bit out of shape. Greg, he's going to be able to drive it off.
Right, he did. He kept the car nice and tight underneath him and shuts him down on the inside into turn number 1. Chris Heil has been working on that move all night long. Finally made it work with just a lap and a half to go. So Chris Heil, the Heil Motorsports 5J, works through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, and it's $5,000 for Chris Heil as he crosses the line ahead of Chris Higgins, Greg Penunti, Larry White in 4th. 5th at the line, Donnie Spadarico after passing 15 cars. Daryl Hilkert and Jimmy LaRock come together at the line, and what a barn burner to close this one out. However, he is second in the point standings for the Sportsman Series and gained quite a bit on Joe Williams here tonight. Not sure if it's going to be enough to set up a battle at Orange County next week, but he did everything he needed to here tonight, and he's pulled it into victory lane. Rich Black is headed down trackside, so we'll send it down to Rich.
Getting his thoughts composed inside of the race car. With all of the lead changes in the event, this one had to wait a little while, but it works for Rob Heil. Leads just the final 2 laps and also led lap number 51. That's okay. $5,000 will be going to him as he takes it back to Syracuse, New York. He passes fellow Salt City competitor Chris Higgins with 2 laps left to go. A great move on the top side of the Speedway, an ultra racy track tonight. Chris Heil wins his 2nd tour race of the year, and he's got $5,000. Let's hear it for him, the winner of the inaugural $5,000 to win Sportsman event here at Black Rock. And Greg, if you want to make sure we can get Don Spadarico down here for the hard charger.
Yeah, he's going to head over the scales, make sure everything's all set. He'll let you talk to Chris, and we'll get Don down here very shortly.
Well, Chris, congratulations, $5,000 race. I mean, you had to circle this one on your schedule early in the year, and you made it happen. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, this is it's a dream come true. For $5 grand, this is crazy. We wanted to come early on in the year, and it rained, so, I mean, we came back now. We made up a lot of points, I hope, so this is just crazy. It's a dream.
I mean, not just for you win this race, but in such dramatic fashion to get around Chris Higgins like that with 2 laps left to go.
Well, the funny thing was is I forgot it was a 55 lapper, and on lap 50 I threw it around the top, and I'm like, well, why aren't they throwing the checkers yet? And then I remember, wow, the outside's working. I got 5 laps, so it was crazy.
And I know that you got a lot of people to thank in this, and you got your brother Rob and everybody that makes this thing happen.
Oh, yeah, I got to thank my family first, my dad, my brother, my mom. We put so much money and time and effort into this stuff. It's a great payoff like this. I got to thank John Beardsley at Pipe Pros, P&M Fabrication, Morrison Performance, and all the fans.
First weekend here all year, and you're able to win. Is that kind of surprising for you?
The track is just great. It's really a driver's track. Last night we raced here. I finished second, so we kind of found something last night, and we just applied it over tonight.
And I know that you had some good battles early on in the event, battling side by side with Joe Williams to get up there and just waiting while those 2 cars, Chris Higgins and Brian Swartout, were battling for the lead.
Yeah, it was actually pretty tough. I had my car a little bit too tight, and it was tough rolling the bottom sometimes if I didn't do it just right. And luckily I found something up top, and it worked.
Well, what are you going to do with the money?
I have no clue. Probably put it back in towards the racing fund and pay some bills.
I would kind of see that. Well, folks, the 5J wins the 5K. $5,000 going to Chris Heil. He picks up the win. Let's hear it one more time for that Sportsman winner.
And 5 in the victory lane here. How about that?
Well, I might have to give Don Spadarico a high five after this one.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, Don, here you go. Hard charge from Sherwood Racing Wheels and Sherwood Racing Products. It's been a great year for you, whether you were driving this car, the Sweeting car, a lot of wins, but to come from 20th to 5th in this event, that's not easy.
No, it's very nerving, and but it's very much like Maryville Speedway, so you just kind of hold the bottom and hope you don't get caught up in any accidents.
How did you get around 15 cars?
I was just paying attention, watching where they were going.
And I know that this event was interesting. A lot of long green flag runs, only a couple of cautions sort of stuck in the middle of the event, so a lot of time to really worry about hitting your marks. Was that basically the case?
Yeah, it's a little better when they run longer green flags. Everybody gets strung out. It's a little bit easier to pass. Otherwise, they run side by side for a long time and you can't get by anybody.
You said this track's like Merrittville. You won at Maryville. You won at Ransomville. You won at Genesee. How many wins for you this year?
I think we had 13.
That's not bad.
No, that's pretty good.
No, and I know that you didn't win this one tonight, but you'll probably be back here for the years to come in the $5,000, $10,000 to win events.
Yeah, if they keep a open option, yeah, we'll be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Donnie Spadarico in car number 5. Spot number 5, the hard charger of the night. And, well, Craig, that was,